Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I am now fully immersed into the updated Robinhood platform. They decided to try and do a little bit of an interface overhaul, and I was talking about this in one of my last videos, and I said I didn't really like what they were doing. I think it looks a little bit less professional than what they were doing before, but as I've gotten used to it, as I've been using the app more and more with the new overhaul, it's starting to grow on me just a little bit. Now, I know a number of you had mixed responses because I'd asked you in the last video whether you liked it or not, and I was getting a number of mixed responses, but I think overall, the consensus was that it does look a little bit less professional, but it is going to attract new young investors to their platform, which I believe overall is their goal. Now, the one qualm for the interface that I do have is I don't have the best eyesight, so it's a little bit tough for me to see sometimes when going in. They changed the font, it's a little bit thinner, and it's not what I like as much as the previous version that they had out there, but honestly, that is not really a huge deal when it comes down to it. But I just don't like recording these videos with my glasses on, so I'm gonna be going dark. I'm gonna be blinded for this episode here. All right, so you can see really not much has changed within the app aside from the colors, and I learned after watching my last video, after posting it, that I actually didn't update the app manually, which is what I needed to do. So typically all of my apps on my phone will update automatically. I don't really need to worry about going into them, click on update just to upgrade them. But Robinhood, for whatever reason, it didn't do that. I had to go into the App Store. So if you're still stuck on the older version and you want to upgrade to the newer version, then all you need to do is head over to the App Store and then find it in your list of downloaded apps, and you can update it straight from there. I believe everybody should have access to this interface update right now. So if you want to get onto that new one, just head over and follow those few steps. Now, let me just cover what's been going on in my portfolio. You can see today we had a very, very solid day, up over 4% today alone from the stock market. So that's over $215 from one day. And you can see that over the past week, we're still down just $3.42. So we're looking to turn that around here soon. Over the past month, we're up 2.57%, $135.04. Over the past 3 months, though, we are down close to $700, down $669 at 11%. But over the past year, and we haven't been doing the Robinhood challenge for over a year, not even too close to a year now. We still have 2 months out for it to be rounded up to that full year. We are down 5.93%, and we're really starting to turn this around, because at one point we were down as far as 25%, and we've really, through perseverance, continuing to invest and just sticking it out on the portfolio, we've managed to bring it back, and we're down only $339, as opposed to at one point being down over $1,400. So I think that just goes to show a little bit, if you stick with it, you stick to your investing principles, you're making sound investments, the hole can be big, but you can easily come back from it depending on the market situation, the types of companies you're invested in, the research that you're doing. All of this is extremely important when it comes to your investing style. And for me, using this dividend long-term investing style, I really wasn't even worried when it was down $1,400, and I still believe that with everything going on in the market today and how crazy everybody is on lockdown and all of these things going on, I just think there is a very high chance that we will see more negative days in the stock market, and this portfolio is going to dip. But if you guys didn't know, and you haven't been following along, the Robinhood challenge is where I invest $100 every single week incrementally, and I just have continued doing that for about 10 months now. And every single week, adding that $100, just dollar cost average my way down into these dividend stocks, and any dividends I receive get reinvested back into the portfolio. But I recently started a new series on this channel, and that is my road to my first investment property here. So I actually started pausing the Robinhood challenge, or not necessarily pausing, I just haven't been depositing that $100 weekly. I've just kind of let my cash sit there, because there's a chance I will need to take this money and use it in the form of a down payment. I'm hoping that I don't have to do that, but I'm doing a number of things to try and prevent that. But worst case scenario is, it's still an investment. It's something that I want to be doing with my money. So if anything, I would just restart up the Robinhood challenge at that point in time with a lower value, and then we could follow along to see where it goes from there. So although I have no moves really to report to you this week, what did happen was I sold a couple of those referral stocks. I enhanced my cash balance just so I could have more money there. I didn't reinvest or anything, obviously. There's some great news on the stock market today with a potential cure or a potential preventative treatment for everything that's going on. So that's why the stock market jumped so high today. It was a really, really solid day. And you know, that just kind of strays me away from investing some of that extra cash that I do have right now, only because, you know, typically when you see such high bounces, such high stock returns, the next, you know, following few days, it might start to level out and it might compensate for what happened previously. So I'm going to keep my eye out for that, but really I only have like 30 bucks cash. So it really wouldn't matter if I invested that now versus later on if I'm planning on holding these for the long term. So now what I want to do is give you a quick update on the real estate investments that I'm trying to get into, where I am along the progress line and how close I am to necessarily buying a property. So let me fill you in right now. So if you haven't been following along with my Road to an Investment Property series, then I'd highly recommend going back, checking out the first couple of videos. But basically, to catch you up to speed, what I've done so far is I've talked to a lender, I've got a qualification letter that I've presented to my real estate agent, and we're finally at the point where we can start going into and looking at properties. Now, I haven't actually gone into properties because right now, for exactly what I'm looking for a multi-family unit. There's just not a lot on the market around me. I mean, I want to stay within a certain radius to my work, and currently there's about 7 properties that are listed on the market, but really they aren't even worth stepping foot in because of their current condition and how everything looks. Now, I do have a lot of ambition. I want to go into a property that is a little bit beaten down, but if you saw the status of some of these kind of investment properties, if you will, it is not looking any good. It'd be a lot of work and a lot of money to get into fixing them up. And it's a lot of expertise that I don't necessarily have the knowledge for, and I'm leaning on a lot of different people to help me out, make some sound, solid decisions. But these types of properties are really, I think, past the point of return for someone like me. They're really gonna need someone who has more capital that they can put into the property, because the type of loan I'm trying to take advantage of is what's known as an FHA or an FHA 203K loan. With an FHA loan, you can put as little as 3.5% down, but you need to keep in mind that if you're buying a property like $300,000, it starts to add up pretty quick. So 3.5% of $300,000, plus you're gonna need some closing costs, and you're gonna need some room for repairs after you purchase the property, after you move in. If you wanna make some of those repairs as well, if you wanna upgrade, you know, kitchens or bathrooms, whatever you wanna do, you need to have some money left over for that. And that's where I think a little bit of the disconnect is, because I've found some pretty solid housing units that are just a little bit above my pay grade. They're a little bit too much in terms of the level of comfort I would have if I purchased them and having to make the mortgage payments. If I got renters right away, it wouldn't necessarily be an issue, but obviously when you buy a property, they look for around 3 to 4 months of cash reserves, and you can't really take that rental income into account. One thing that I do need to do real quick though is grab my coat, head over to the bank, and deposit some money. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm headed straight to the bank. I just received a check from a trust that I actually have set up because my father passed away. I'm actually using some of that money as a down payment. Now, the reason why it's so urgent for me to deposit this as quickly as possible is because when the lender talked to me, he said that he only takes into account the previous 2 months of any bank statements I have. So any money coming in, any money going out, they just look at that to qualify you for the mortgage. And the reason why it's important for me to get it in is because he won't look further than that limit. So the reason why he looks 2 months back is basically just to make sure you don't have any large influxes of money. You know, you don't want to be dealing drugs out there. I do not condone dealing drugs. That's just something they look for. They want to make sure that you're making secure financial decisions and you have the right backing in order to afford a mortgage. All right, so I'm just gonna throw the old mask on and quickly run this in, and I'll see you guys back at the home studio.
Hey, what's up, guys? Coming to you live from Dalton's vehicle while he hikes his. What am I looking at? Why is it? Failed. He failed.
Drive-through only. So now that I'm back here, just to fill you guys in, everything right now is falling into place. Everything's kind of going according to plan. And I'm at the point where I'm able to start going in. I'm able to start making offers. I'm able to do all of these different things when it comes to, you know, purchasing your first property, purchasing a property in general. I just haven't progressed all that fast along the way. I wish it was a little quicker, but honestly, there's just not so much on the market right now that's worth going into, worth checking out. So what I have done is I've actually drove past all of those listings that I previously talked about just to identify, you know, if I'd even like the areas that some of these properties were in. Now, there were a few properties that I would consider, but honestly, using an FHA loan, having to live there for a year, there were some pretty sketchy areas that I wasn't gonna feel comfortable necessarily moving myself into, and my girlfriend as well. And I wanna be able to, you know, go to a place that I can feel safe in, that I don't need to worry about having the best security system out there. I think my number one priority while I'm searching right now is just to get into a place that I'm gonna feel at least, you know, secure in terms of my safety level. The biggest thing for me is, if you already know me, I'm a pretty impatient person, so I really wish it was quicker and quicker, but a lot of people have been telling me, you know, slow your roll, it's gonna come to you, just take it easy and don't, you know, make a rash decision too quick and end up in a hole that you can't dig yourself out of. So honestly, I appreciate all the help from everybody along the way that's kind of keeping me in check, because I am an optimist by heart, I'm an optimist by nature, and I just feel like, you know, I look at some of these really bad properties and I have such great envisions in my head, but honestly, without having the prior experiences of renovations or, you know, upgrades to different parts of the housing units, I really would be in a hole over my head if I didn't have these people just keeping me level. So anyways, guys, that's all I really have for you in a video like this here today. If you did enjoy this content, please smash that like button. I know there's a few of you out there that don't like that I say smash that like button, but if you do smash that like button, it really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. So I'm gonna continue saying it one more time, smash that like button, really would help me out with that YouTube algorithm. Thanks for checking out this video, guys, and have a great day.